Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head down to Mexico, to the city of Mazatlán, which is a port town in fact, and we're going to have a taste of another beer from Grupo Modelo, who are actually the biggest brewing group down in Mexico. So we're going to have a taste of Cerveza Pacifico Clara, and I have tried this beer before, and I do actually quite enjoy the Mexican lager beers. They do tend to be quite tasty ones and quite just nice light summery beers. A lot of other beer reviewers don't really like doing this style of beer, but I enjoy kind of reviewing some of these lager ones as well, and I found Mexico is a very good country for that kind of beer. But anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll take you through a very kind of brief history of the brewery. It will only be 2 or 3 minutes long, but if you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. The brewery website's in the video description for you below, and there's also a link down there that will take you to my other Grupo Modelo reviews that I've done before. I believe it's just the Especial and the Negra Modelo that I've done for you so far, but hopefully I can add a few more to that in the near future, because they do seem to do quite a few different beers. But anyway, Pacifico Clara was first brewed in 1900 when 3 Germans opened up a brewery which was called Cerveceria del Pacifico, which is in Mazatlán in Sinaloa, Mexico, which is on the Pacific coast in fact. But the beer was named Pacifico simply for the fact that Mazatlán is a port town on the Pacific coast. So yeah, quite easily done. But Grupo Modelo, who own this company, were founded in 1922, and it's the leading brewing company in Mexico, and they're currently based in Mexico City, but they have 7 brewing plants in the country, and they have a total capacity of 60 million hectolitres, so a very, very big brewing operation. But in 1925 they opened the Modelo Cerveceria in Mexico City, and in 1930 the Modelo Negro brand was launched, and in 1933 the company's first US exports began. So quite an old company actually. But over the years the company has acquired several different Mexican breweries. This include Toluca, who make the Victoria beer in 1935, Pacifico, who are from Mazatlán like I say, Montejo, who are in Guadalajara in 1954, and also the Modelo del Noroeste, who are from Ciudad, and they were acquired in 1960. But the export brands of the Grupo Modelo, you'll know many of these. They include the Corona, Modelo, and also the Pacifico beer. So these are the 3 main brands of beer that you will find out. So you get the Corona, obviously, this guy here, the Negra Modelo, and also the Modelo Especial. All quite nice lager beers in fact. So in terms of macro beer, these companies are actually producing some very nice stuff. But they also domestically brew Victoria, Estrella, Leon, and Montejo, but these are exclusively, like I say, for the Mexican market, although the latter 2 have recently become available internationally in a few select, I think it's in some of the Spanish speaking countries, but I'm not sure about that. But in 2012 Anheuser-Busch acquired a 50% non-controlling stake in the company, and they've been trying to acquire the last 50% of it fairly recently as well, but there was actually a bit of trouble with that. If I remember rightly, Grupo Modelo wasn't actually, or Anheuser-Busch and the Grupo Modelo division weren't actually allowed to export their beers into America for a period of time because of an argument with the Justice Department over that. But I'm not sure if it's been solved. I'm assuming it has, because you can get Modelo in and Corona and Pacifico in the States quite easily, obviously. So yeah, I'm sure it's been resolved. But anyway, let's get on to the actual tasting of this beer then. As I say, I do enjoy a Mexican lager beer, so I'm quite looking forward to trying this one for you. But as you can see, it's 4.5% on the Richter scale. The label actually depicts the one of the mountains that you can see from Mazatlán, so that's why it has this kind of nice anchor symbol. Of course, that kind of symbolises the fact that it's a port town and the mountain that you can see in the bay there. So it looks very, very nice. I'll just check that you're seeing that before I open the beer up. My cursor's disappeared, but I've just found them there. So as you can see, it's actually quite nicely presented and a very recognisable brand. I do like how it's a little bit retro in that way. It does kind of come across as being sort of Latin American in that way. So you can see there's the Pacifico Clara bottle cap, which is fairly standard. But yeah, 4.5% by volume alcohol content. But yeah, another nice Mexican lager beer. I've tried this one before, but it's cool to finally get round to reviewing this one for you on the channel. So let's crack this guy open. So as you can see, a nice smoky opening there, and as you would expect, it pours a nice kind of clear golden straw colour. We'll just sugar it up and try and get a wee bit of head on the last little bit of it. But yeah, pours exactly as you would expect from one of these Mexican lager beers. And as I say, Mexico seems to produce some really nice, tasty, malty lager beers, so this one should be very nice. But as you could see, there was a kind of half finger of a frothy white head, but that has just kind of faded very, very quickly. If I put my fingers behind the glass, you can see that the beer is transparent. There's a little teeny bit of sediment, just very, very small particles floating around in there, but the beer is crystal clear. There's a lot of small bubbles of carbonation going up towards the bottom of the head there, and some bigger bubbles around the edge of the glass, but it looks very, very nice actually. So let's give it a smell and see how we get on. So yeah, typical components of a lager beer. Of course, the kind of macro lager isn't one of the most prominent beers when it comes to having a big nose on them, but you've got the typical elements here: a kind of light pale malt nose, a little bit toasted, the kind of typical kind of corny, grainy character that you would expect. It's quite sweet though. The Mexican beers always have a kind of big, biscuity, kind of corny sweetness to them, so it has that in it. But you can also pick up a little bit of the grassy and citrusy hops. These beers are always very, very light and quite easy drinking, so it has all the typical elements there. But this one actually has a little bit more of a kind of wet grassy nose to it, I would say, rather than the sort of sharper and citrusy note. So yeah, it's quite interesting. The caramel comes out a little bit more when you sugar it up like this. You can really pick out the kind of caramel and biscuity sweetness out of this one. But it's quite grainy as well, so overall smells like quite a nice lager beer. So without further ado, let's actually get stuck into this. So this is the Pacifico Clara, which is one of the Modelo Negro, pardon me, the Grupo Modelo beers from Mexico. This one is brewed in Mazatlán on the Pacific coast. Slange. Yeah, tastes just like a Mexican lager beer, as you would expect. So you've got a nice kind of corny malt sweetness to this one, a little bit of a pale bready malt, and that just blankets the tongue here. But the corny sweetness, I think, is quite prominent on this one in comparison to some of the other ones. I always found Corona to be a more kind of hoppy beer. This one is a little bit more malty than that. It's more of a kind of blended flavour. But yeah, it's actually, the bready character in this one is very, very lightly toasty, and there's some grainy flavours in there, as you would expect from the kind of macro lager style of beer. But there is actually a little bit of caramel in this too. You can feel it just going down the middle of the tongue, but of course in the back sides of the tongue, not on the very edges, just a little bit inward, you do get that kind of corny sweetness just building, and it's actually quite a wet corny sweetness you'll get in the mouthfeel of this one. But yeah, when the liquid's actually in the mouth, the beer does feel a little bit dry in that sense. Quite a bit of the hoppy character comes out when you've actually got the liquid on your mouth, which is a little bit unusual. But yeah, the malty character actually kind of fairly quickly subsides into being quite a good hoppy dryness in this one. So you've got the typical smooth, grassy flavour of the beer around the edges of your tongue there. There's a little bit of kind of smooth, slightly lemony citrus around the front of the tongue there, but it's not too sharp at all. It's mainly a kind of typical lagery sort of grassy hop in there, but it's very nice. The flavours in this one blend together really well, and you know, for a macro lager beer, what you want it to do is be refreshing on a nice hot day, and the Mexican beers really do achieve that. Grupo Modelo seem to have got this down to a T, but even though the beers are kind of brewed in a macro sense, they do all taste different. The Negro Modelo you could actually probably pass as a craft beer because it does have a hell of a lot of flavour in it. Corona's your more hoppy one. This guy's a little bit in the middle, and the Modelo Especial, I would say, is a little bit more of a malty one. So there's a good variety of beers available from this one. But yeah, I actually would even go as far with this one as saying the hoppy character does come across as being a little bit aromatic. So there's quite a few things going on in this lager beer. It is perhaps just a little bit complex in comparison to some of the other ones you'll come across. You can hear the rain on the roof as I'm filming this one for you, but yeah, I mean, overall, very, very nice lager beer. A lot of beer reviewers, as I say, don't particularly like this style of beer, but this guy's got a few wee things going on in it. Some nice little, what's the word, some kind of subtle characteristics in the malt base there. So just pay attention to that as you're trying the beer. And it's got a good hoppy dryness to it as well, so it's kind of in the middle of the various things that Grupo Modelo have. But in terms of the mouthfeel, this one, I would say it's light-bodied. The carbonation is actually quite active in this one, I'm finding, and that helps bring out the kind of aromatic-y dryness and the hoppy character that you're getting in the end at the taste of this beer. It is a little bit oily, I would say, and has a big wet mouthfeel. That's exactly what you want from a Mexican beer, obviously a very hot country, but there's a good complex kind of malty sweetness in this one. It's not just your typical sort of corny sweetness in there. There's a little bit of grainy character and some nice bready characteristics in there as well. It's a little bit toasted too, I would say, but in the aftertaste, like I say, you're getting a nice hoppy dryness to this beer. So overall, it's a very nice macro lager beer. So if you do like the style, then if you've not tried Pacifico Clara, I would definitely give it a go. And the macro lagers are a beer that I would say the Mexicans are pretty good at brewing. So any Mexican lager beer, I'm sure, if it's a style that you enjoy, you probably will enjoy it, particularly if it comes from Grupo Modelo, of course. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this beer review. It's been cool to do another Mexican one for you. As always, let me know in the comments section below your own thoughts on the beer. Always interesting to read them. But in the meantime, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. I'll once again ask my Mexican viewers to recommend a few other craft breweries, and I will see if I can review some of the Mexican craft beer at some point in the future. But it's disappointingly, it's actually quite hard to get that in Scotland. I believe all we can get is the Cerveza de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead beer, but you can get the macro ones quite easily. But please do suggest some of the Mexican beers for me, and I will keep an eye out for them and see if I can even find them online. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will catch you soon. Please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff, comment, and I will catch you soon. But slàinte for now.